This is Mandela Links, and I'm asking you to check out Carnival Slayers on YouTube. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Remember, Carnival Slayers bring you the vibes. Mandela Links endorse it to the fullest. Large. Make sure you check it out. Carnival Slayers on YouTube. Like, share, and subscribe.
Carnival Slayers.
Oh, it's just bubbling there.
Me and you both.
Yeah.
Good evening. It was
Good
indeed.
evening.
Hello, everyone. And
Good evening,
welcome.
Rem.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening,
Welcome, everyone and listeners, to the first ever edition of the 50 Shades of Carnival Countdown with Carnival Slayers alongside myself, Remy D. So, with the Notting Hill Carnival being less than 50 days away as of the 10th of July. Hey. Each week we're going to be bringing you a different element in the run-up to the carnival to give a better idea / a behind the scenes look at different elements that are part of the carnival. Now, every year, trucks are adorned with elaborate costumes that bring colour and vibrancy to the streets of the Notting Hill and during the 2-day parade. So I thought tonight we'll be speaking with designers that are ready to share their carnival experiences and give us an insight. So without further ado, I'm going to start from my top right, so that would be Confident Curves, and we'll work our way around. If you just want to introduce yourself, how long you've been designing, and which mass band or section you're currently designing for this year.
Okay, yeah. So I'm Confident Curves. I started in 2014 through a design competition with Isis Mass, now making Carnival. This year I'm with Massa Nova. We're collaborating with Smokey Joe's, and my section is Rainbow Punch.
Okay, nice. And then Monique.
Hi, even everyone. My name is Monique. I am Ashanti Creole. I am designing for Jamaican Twist this year. We've got 2 sections on the road, so they've got the Tamaka 60-year anniversary costume, and we've also got Mono's Paradise on the road this year. Started designing 2016-ish seriously, but have a long line of design in my blood. I'm just here for the experience, here to meet new people, here to, make a mark in the carnival community.
Nice. And Sawney Styles.
Hi, guys. So my name, I'm going to go by Sawney Styles. Real name is Michelle. So I am the band leader. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. I am the band leader and also a designer of a section for the Rhythm Tribe. So my section is Shiva's Gold. Well, I forgot for a while. Shiva's Gold, and I also manage the kids designers as well. We had a competition back in 2020 for a kid to design a section. So I'll be also doing an individual costume for that section as well. So yeah.
Nice. And then Miracle Precious Designs. Oh, Miracle Precious. Can you hear
hear a
us?
word. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to introduce yourself, and then how long you've been designing for, and if who you're currently designing for 2020. Oh, she's gone. She'll be back. We'll move on to Giselle. Hi there.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. If you just want to
Okay, good.
introduce yourself,
Hi,
how long you've
everyone.
been designing for, and who you've designed for or designing for this year.
Okay, hi, everyone. My name is Giselle. I'm a band leader. I tend to shy away from calling myself a designer, even though I've been involved in Carnival for a long time. But doing work for other bands since 2014. This year, doing the costumes for Gems Mass International, which is my band, as well as the kids' costumes, and also have a section with flags. I have designed for other bands previously, Candy Mass. I did Tears, Fun Mass. I did Ellie Moo's children's costumes as well. So I've been doing a few bits here and there.
Okay. And we'll go back to Miracle Precious. Hopefully she can hear us.
Yeah, I'm back now.
Lovely. Yeah, if you just want to introduce yourself, how long you've been designing, and who you are designing for this year, or who you have designed for in the past.
Okay, so my name's Miracle Precious. I've been designer from 2017. So this year I'm designer for Candy Mass, my section Cyrus, and also Tempo Mass, and the section's name Anarchy. In the past I've designed for Tropical Mass, obviously my home, Ignite, the Fetters Mass, and a few others. So
Okay, that's good. So we have a wide, varied amount of designers here. I'm looking forward to hearing your answers to these questions. No pressure, no pressure.
no, put us on the
So,
spot, you know. No editing, this is live.
well, yeah, it's going to be a bit PC, you know. I want to know the insides, what goes on behind making a costume. So, first question: how did you get into designing for costumes for Carnival, and where did it all start for you? What made you think, yeah, this is what I want to get into? I think who will go first? I think we'll go to Monique.
You hit the unmute button. Okay, so right, story time. I spent part of my life in St. Lucia, and St. Lucia is very much Carnival central. So it's very much part of life and who I was. When I came back to England, Carnival was an every year thing. Didn't really take much interest in the costumes until I had my son almost 7 years ago. And thought, you know what? Let me take my creative skills, because I do a lot within the construction industry. So I have quite a lot of technical skills, and I thought, you know what, let me apply that to something that I've always loved and something that I wanted to get involved with. So from there, I've got quite a diverse design background at home. My dad's a tailor by trade, and it just kind of escalated from there. I think everyone knows once you pick up a pair of scissors and a glue gun, it's just game over, kind of. You know, you kind of fall in love with it. You fall in love with it. Let's just put it this way. I think 4 years ago, I didn't want to touch feathers, and now it's just like, give me feathers, give me feathers. So it's definitely addictive. I'd say my experience is also kind of drawn in from living in the Ladbroke Grove area as well, off and on for the past 10 years, and getting to see the kind of setup of Carnival from like when the trucks are coming in the nights before, and you know, setting up the food and stuff. And I think it's probably from then that was probably the catalyst from being in St. Lucia and it just being, you know, kind of Carnival jerk chicken and everything, and yeah, and then coming back over here as a 17-year-old and immersing myself into that and the culture, and then working within the area as well. It's just very much it's a part of everything, to be honest with you now.
I hear that. I hear that. Yeah, I used to live in the area as well, so I know the setup is like a couple of weeks back when you see the barriers coming out on the side of the
Yeah,
road. You know, oh,
Yeah.
it's singing
yeah,
time.
The no
yeah.
parking sign.
Yeah,
It's extremely nostalgic. It's like even when you're not part of the area anymore, when you go back there, it's just like, oh, I'm back home. It's
I
like
know.
you got that feeling where yeah, it's definitely it's especially growing up. It's something where, especially when you're culturally thirsty and you want to immerse yourself in more culturally diverse things, especially the way that we live over here as such, then yeah, it's definitely something that I think we as a community, have to make sure keep continues and keep the skills going on, etc., and keep handing them down from generation to generation.
I agree. I agree. Well, thank you for that. Well, let's go to Sawney Styles.
Take me off mute. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so where mine all started. So my grandmother, bless her, she's 93 now. She used to she was a seamstress. She used to be in Carnival. I don't know if any of you remember the band Caribbean Sunset Club. She used to, it's a Grenadian band, so she used to make costumes for that band, sewing, stitching, gluing, sticking. Obviously, there were some males as well that used to do all the wire work and stuff like that. But I used to always be by her foot. When she's in that sewing room and they're sewing, I'm there. She taught me how to sew and stitch myself. Always in it. She's always putting me in maths. So from when I was a toddler, I was probably in maths from then. They also as well had, they bought Jab Jab as well to the streets of Notting Hill. They didn't have a truck back then. That was like early 90s. They didn't have a truck back then. They used to just be beating whatever they can, bottles, buckets, whatever the case, dragging their coffin. They even went so far to get tar and grind it and mix it with oil and cover themselves with that. Until eventually, a couple of years later, they eventually got a truck with sound system. So basically, Carnival's been in my blood since young. Everybody around me. I personally, so obviously I was in the mass being dressed up by my grand from young. I then stopped going to Carnival because I don't actually like the crowds. I feel a lot safer being with the bands, like in the ropes. But I can't do this rampage and trying to get, I can't stand it. So I stopped going Carnival for a good while when I was in my teens. Also going through the thing of being quite mager and everyone saying, you're so skinny and all of this. So I was not putting myself in no costume. And obviously costumes by then started to get a little bit more skimpier, innit? So I met my partner, I'm sure you all know, Credible, in 2012, 13. And he pushed me, knowing that I was quite creative anyway, he pushed me to basically start making costumes for the band. So I started off with the kids. The first year we had 5 kids. And then by the next year we had 60 kids. I kid you not, me and my mum were hair stitching because I still got that old school, stitching, making skirts, making, what you can buy, what you can put together. But, we still going old school with stitching skirts and stuff. So we were up one day, I swear it was like 14 hours straight stitching skirts. And just tired on the road. So yeah, it started off then, and then 2016 and 17 we actually came first for the fun fantasy section. So we had over 60 kids by that time, and then I decided, all right, I'm going to hand this down to somebody else. I'm mentoring a couple of youngsters to make our kids costumes at the moment. So I've gone on now to make the adults costumes section for them. I've also done a section for Rotterdam as well. Obviously they're not coming on the road this year, so it'll be on next year. But so that's where I all started, really.
Wow, that was very interesting. A nice insight. I like the Jab Jab band on the road.
Yeah.
Those that know me know I love jab jab. So
Yeah.
on to confident curves.
Okay, so I got into designing in 2014 with Isis Mass. Basically, you know Vince, Big V, he sent me and the Diamante a post that Isis Mass was looking for people to enter. And I used to always go carnival and see the costumes and used to be like, "Oh, I'd love to design one day," not thinking that it could be at the end of my fingertips. I didn't really have any experience until then. And literally, we're kind of thrown in the deep end. We were told we were going to get help and stuff, and then we just ended up somehow putting it together. And at first, my costume it was okay, but then the ones that I do now, I've learned so much on the way, like from
Mhm.
being friends with other designers, and just sometimes you can give each other tips just to improve each other's skills,
Mhm.
basically. So really and truly, it's all because of Vince, basically. I know he's gonna be happy that I've mentioned that, but it's the truth. So yeah, that's
That's
it,
good.
really.
I think I was there that year, Isis Mass, when they had the costume design competition, and
Yeah, it
everybody
was the
had to vote.
Renaissance one. Yeah, it was the first.
Yeah,
I did the first year and the second
Mhm.
year.
but I
But
couldn't vote
before
because I
that,
was a DJ, so I just had to wait for the results, unfortunately. But as you said, it's all progress, which is good.
yeah, each year you just have to
Nice,
improve. That's it.
100%. And then next we'll go to Miracle Precious.
Yes. So
Tell us.
yes. So I started carnival from the age of 2. My mum made me this tie-dye outfit. I remember the day I didn't even want to wear it. I was crying, I was bawling, and she insisted to take pictures, and I'm crying, and she just got bare. She still got the pictures up now, like in the passage, like me crying with the costume on. So I started at age 2, um, and then it escalated onto my primary school, St. Mary's of the Angels. They had a mass band, so I was an individual. I made myself a poppy. Actually, it was a big poppy, and I came second. And this was in Gala, when it used to be in Holland Park. We used to have Gala and all the big costumes, old mass, and all of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then it just escalated from there, innit? Like,
Okay.
I've never turned back. I've always been in carnival. Like, my whole family is just carnival, especially like when you live in the area, you ain't got no choice. You wake up in the
True.
morning, carnival morning, you're not waking up normal. You just hear that beat, like you're like,
True.
yeah, it's carnival time in there or whatever. But, and then I made my first section 2017. That was with Ignite Mass. Been with them forever. Yeah, that was if I could remember, it was Lalo. Yeah, it was called Lalo, I think. Cuss me if
Yeah.
I'm wrong, because that's my question. I should know, innit, right? So yeah, that was my first section that I made. And how I got into that, I used to always be in mass camp. I used to always be helping. You know, when you stay in mass camp till hours in the morning, just making costume and vibing, and it's like family, isn't it? So then I had a lot of people saying, "Oh, Precious, when you gonna make your section? You should make a section." I was like, "Nah, I'm not ready for that yet. I'm all right, just helping out, putting down tools and going home, innit? I ain't into this over the night every single day. Obviously, I've done it sometimes, but you know." And then one year I was just like, you know what? Maybe I should try a section, because I've made costumes from a child, but obviously adulthood, nah. I just admire what everybody else, creates and all of that stuff. So yeah, I decided to make a section, and it went off well. I had like 40 people in that section, and then I've just carried on. And yeah, I've made for various bands, over the years, and I really enjoy what I do. It is tiring work. You want to put down tools. You say, next year I'm done. I'm not designing nothing yet next year. Then you see everybody else. You're like, yeah, no, I need to design something. I need to bring out something. So yeah, that's how I started, and I'm still here today. So yeah.
Nice. Very nice. And then last but by all means not least, Giselle, how did you get started into designing costumes?
I just want to say to MP, that's the carnival jumbie that make you pick up them tools again and go for the next
Yes,
year.
yes, Giselle, yes. And you know what? Let me just say something. Yeah, when I was a child, I was actually I can't remember the year of the riots. There was riots down Labrador Grove, and I remember after the parade finished and it's time to go home, come to the end of the road, to see bare police, shields, fire everywhere. Like everything was just like on fire, and I was just like, wow. And that was after Carnival, and I was just like, you know what? I'm never going back to Carnival again. I'm
Yeah.
still here, you know.
And how many years later you're still here?
Yes, Carnival's that, you know, Carnival's our life. It's in our
Yeah.
heart, it's in our blood. You know, every year we say, you know, well, I don't know you guys, but sometimes, you know, when you get too tired, you're like, you know, next year
Mhm.
I might just step out for next year, innit? But you end up coming back. So yeah.
We just
You
had 2 years
definitely
break and
do.
we're already feeling like that.
Yeah.
Can
Exactly.
I just interject and say that weekend
Yes.
when in the pandemic when there was no carnival, I was in my house and I was thinking I should be doing something. God, carnival! Oh, there is none. I done it for the whole day. Like I felt like something was missing, and now it's
Mm.
back this year. I can't wait.
Stress.
Less than 50
I
days.
was sick.
Yes.
I
Wait.
was literally
Uh,
sick because for me, I'm Trinidadian, and I grew up in Trinidad, and my father was a mass man. He was a wire bender, and very famous for putting on a lot of the fancy king costumes that you see in pictures and stuff back in the
yes. King, queen.
1950s, 60s, 70s,
Mm-hmm.
and 80s.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And my mom was a seamstress, so she used to sew the costumes. So in our house, and Trinidad Carnival being the mecca that it is, you know, I used to love it because I would say like around he would start prep like around 6 months before because he used to actually build the king costumes. So I've been playing mass from since I was born, you know, because my
Mm.
parents obviously being heavily involved in it and my father and mother creating the costumes, we had no choice, you know.
Mm.
But
Feet
I
up.
loved it because the excitement of being able to dress up as a child, because I like dressing up, you know. So that was the only time you could get to dress up and get some glitter on your face and a little lipstick or a little lip gloss on your lip,
Definitely.
you know.
Yeah.
So I used to love it because, you know, as a little girl, you know, dressing up is a thing when you're small, right?
Mm.
So that tradition carried on until daddy stopped. Daddy stopped making masks in the 80s. Yeah, he stopped making masks in the 80s, and then I still carried on. We still carried on playing mass, but then we stopped playing mass because like what we started to then do was to go to carnival and have a family picnic, and you know it used to be an event and stuff like that.
Mm.
But I always still loved it. And then when I was an adult, before I came to the UK, I started playing mass again because I was like, you know what, I outgrow the family picnic thing. I want to go back on the
Mhm.
road and play mass. So I was
Mhm.
playing mass at home. And then obviously when I came here, I didn't first start off in the mass when I first came to the UK because I was into music as well. A lot of people would know me as a calypsonian, you know, a vocalist, a MC, that sort of stuff. So I did that whole entertainment thing because I did that in Trinidad as well. And I also come from a theater background, being involved in theater. So, you know, I was always attracted by costuming, whether it be carnival costuming or theater costume and that sort of stuff.
Mm.
And then the opportunity came about in 2014, just by fluke. I think I met Shaka from Candy Mass. And I can't remember what sort of discussion that we were having, but it ended up somehow with carnival and costumes and masks. And I think at that time, Candy Mass was only a dirty mass band. They didn't used to do pretty costumes. Um, and we had a discussion about, you know, him wanting to do pretty mass for carnival. I can't remember the year, which year it was, but the very first year that they had pretty mass for Notting Hill, I was one of the designers that they used. And it was really good. So I have to say shout out to Shaka for that because, you
Mhm.
know, it gave me an opportunity to express my creativity, you know, doing costuming. But also I had started up my kids mask band in 2015. So I started doing kids costuming before doing adults because I am an advocate for Kiddies Carnival. And I love children's costuming. What attracts me to children's costuming is that it's still innocent.
Mhm.
You know, you still see the
Definitely.
artistry of Kiddies Carnival, you know,
Mhm.
and it isn't tainted by what we see now with, you know, a lot of skimpiness and stuff. So I started off with that because I wanted to keep that innocence amongst the children, and obviously be creative because you could do so much with kiddies costumes. So I started doing kiddies costumes before I designed for Candy Mass. And then obviously went in and did the section for Candy Mass, and then started working with Tears Mass as well, and then obviously Elimu and other bands and stuff like that. But you know, that, as MP say, you know, that carnival is in my DNA, down in my marrow.
Yes,
I can't get
yes.
rid of it.
Oh, no one
I
could
love
take that away from
carnival.
you, man.
I literally am one of those people that have, I get anxiety. Like sometimes, you know, I don't know if
Yeah.
anybody, this ever happened to anybody, but for like Trinidad Carnival, I have to be home, you know. And there was one year I wasn't home and I was literally sick. Like my stomach was hurting me and I was sick. I was literally sick because I needed to be home. And I
Just
started,
I'm feeling like that right now with St. Lucia Carnival about to happen. I'm feeling like that right now. I know how you feel.
yeah, yeah, you literally get sick in your stomach. And like I have this recurring dream that I'm always trying to get to carnival, but by the time I get there, it finished. So like by the time I reach to the carnival route or I get home to Trinidad, you know, I miss it, and it's like the day after. And I think I will send somebody and they say, you know, that is a form of anxiety. So that's how I get, which I know it's kind of weird, but that's how I feel around carnival. So I have to be there. So for the past 2 years with no carnival, I didn't know what to do with myself. My mental health was all over the place. Honestly, it was all over the place, you know. But yeah, so
You're back now.
that's me
You'll
there.
make up for it this year.
Yes.
Plenty of what less behavior in our lovely costumes on the road. Yes. Next question. So, personally, I like when I look at a costume and I can see where the vision came from. Like, oh, this reminds me of this, and I think this is what they were trying to portray in a costume. So, I want to know is, where do you draw your inspiration for when designing costumes? I don't know who to go to first. I think I'll go with Confident Curves.
Okay, so for me, I have to have a theme. I can't just put some pretty colours together and then just bang out a costume from that. There has to be a theme so that I can tell a story, so that, you know, when you're piecing each part together, it comes alive, kind of thing. But without a theme, I don't know. Like, as far as I know, that's my vision of carnival. I don't come from a carnival background, but whenever I've seen it and just what I've done my research on, and just when I do see costumes, I'm like, oh, that tells a story. So I want to tell a story. So that is basically how I design.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. I hear that because I've had the pleasure of wearing one of your costumes before, and
Oh
it
yes,
certainly did
you
tell a
slayed,
story.
you slayed that costume, girl. You
Well,
look
I tried. I
beautiful.
tried. I've had the pleasure of wearing another person's costume in this group as well.
Ooh la la.
We shall reveal who soon. But yes, no, I agree. Yes, it did tell a story because I looked at it. It was A, my favorite color, and B, I could see the vision that was there, which I really liked. Which is why I played in your section that year. God, it seems so long ago, a couple of years back.
It does feel a longer time. It feels so long ago.
It really does. Um, we'll move on next to Sawney Styles. Where do you draw your inspiration from?
So with the Rhythm Tribe, we've had a story going from 2012 to 2019. And every year we just built on that. So the themes were around the story. We were recreating a theme. I'm not gonna try and remember every single year because I can't.
Well,
But
if
I
you
know
did,
it
I'd give you
started
the
on.
trophy. Wow.
So
I said, if you did, I'll have to give you a trophy.
oh, listen. Oh my God. But yeah, we've kind of come out of that now. But yeah, we always, after we launched our costumes, we're already thinking about the next year. Already got the section. And then we all, as designers, in-house designers anyway, we come together with the colors and stuff like that, and choosing our names and our themes and stuff like that. So for me personally, with my section, all right, yes, we come together and choose our colors and stuff, but I also get a lot of inspiration from Instagram and other bands launching abroad and stuff like that, seeing how they've worked their colors and what kind of things. There's new stuff coming out all the time, you know. So you try to think ahead of that and think, well, what can I do? What can I make? So yes, I do my feathering and stuff like that. I do not have patience for feathering. It's like one of those chores, you know, like when your parents say you have to scrub the skirting boards, but you really don't want to do it. It's like one of those ones, you have to do it. But
So
yeah.
I mean, apologies, I don't know, but what does feathering mean?
Well, you're laying out your feathers, how
Oh,
you're
okay.
positioning them, how you're sticking them down, and you know, creating your backpacks
Okay.
and your collars and stuck like that. So there is ways, obviously, getting the feathers on the reels and sticking it that way, but you've also got the ones where if you really want to make an intricate backpack, you have to lay those feathers one by one and wait for the glue to dry. It's long. But yeah, it's been very interesting seeing like what other countries and other bands have been coming out with, you know, and you take a bit of inspiration from everybody. Oh, that was nice, try and make your own thing. So yeah, usually that.
Okay, nice. And then next we'll go to Giselle.
Well, I get inspiration from many things. I am a fabric junkie. So I usually would see a piece of fabric and I could visualize a costume out of it. In my house, I have so much fabric. I have too much.
Yeah,
So
costumes for
fabric.
years to come then.
Yeah, you know what? You're done now. You're done now because what happened is I started learning to sew. Because initially I used to get someone else to sew my body wear and stuff like that, and there was a year that she really messed me up big time.
Okay.
So out of that frustration, I decided to go and learn to sew. So now that you know I have some knowledge and I could basically sew, it's like fabric is my best friend. So I would see fabric, and then because like this year for GMI, the Ayaba costume, I actually saw that Ankara fabric, and I was like, woo! So straight away when I saw it, the design came to my head one time, you know. So I just purchased the fabric and then started creating. I like looking at nature, draw inspiration from nature. There's so many beautiful animals as well. I like the colors, so I would watch like birds and fishes and stuff to, you know, to help my inspiration with my color palette. And also just looking at fashion, weird fashion, because I always like fashion. So like I look at, you know, those international designers and stuff like that where they do some really weird stuff. And I would draw inspiration from that. So it's like, you know, getting that whole creative mindset going. I tend not to watch what other designers are doing because I don't want it to influence my thought process. You know, the only time I would look at something is to see the structure of the wire that I need, because obviously I don't do the wire work. I get all my wire work done from Paul. So if I see a shape of a headpiece or a backpack, I would then send it to him and say, I want a piece, a wire frame like that. But obviously, my finished product is not going to look like what I sent him because it's just as a reference point. Because I want my stuff to look original, you know. So hence the reason why I tend to draw inspiration away from Carnival. So everything else but Carnival, so that when you see one of my pieces, it looks original. You know what I'm saying? And it looks unique. So yeah, that's how I tend to get my inspiration. So anything not related to Carnival, but fabric is my main source of inspiration. I love fabric.
Oh, I like that. I've learned something again today. Yes. Miracle Precious. Tell
Yeah,
us,
yeah.
where do you
So
get
you
the
know what?
inspiration from?
Yeah, boy, I get my inspiration from many things. Because you know, carnival is quite unique, and you can actually pick any theme and get creative with it. So once you give me a theme, yeah, I'm good to go. And then the next stage is the fabric, just like Giselle. Once I get a feel for a fabric, I have to say, yeah, I need that fabric. I need to get it. I don't care if it's like £50 per meter. I'm getting that fabric in it. So, um, and also I do a lot of research, browsing, as you know, my daughter calls it, my partner calls it browsing. So yeah, and I get my inspiration from like the fashion designers, the quirky ones. Yeah, I get my inspiration from that. I get my inspiration from like nature, like the colors, Um, and I look at international designers, as Giselle said again. I do look at international designers, but that's more of like the structure of a costume, like how to put the feathers and stuff. Because I did have trouble in the beginning, like putting feathers together, putting gems together. I was just like a nightmare at it. So when you look at other designers and see how they've put their feathers or their gems, it gives you inspiration to to do what you need to do in it or whatever. So yeah, I get my inspiration from many sources. Yeah.
Nice. And last but by all means not least, Monique, where do you get your inspiration from?
Again, it depends on the theme. So, I tend to do a lot in my spare time just for my own mental health, and it could be so much as I was on a train, going somewhere one day, and I saw something, and I've taken inspiration from that, and I will create on the back of that. It could be, past experiences, something that I've seen in the past. It could be a person, it's talking about, for the section that we did in 2019 for Massanova, that was, people, it was icons. So it could be absolutely anything. And obviously I'll draw on that. And I think I've got very much of a kind of classic but fierce style at the same time. So all my costumes are going to look like warriors. It's female warriors, 100%. It's not going to be soft. It's not going to be subtle. It's going to be in your face, 100%. That's what I'm about. That's what Ashanti Creole is about. Alpha females, simple as that. It's always going to be that. When it comes to obviously designing for a theme, it's talking to the client to find out what they want to get out of it, what they want to see en masse on the road, to say, this is how I want it to look, this is the impression that I want people to get when I see it coming down the road, etc. On top of the colours, and that extra kind of structural piece. I always say I use building technology A in terms of how to put things together and how to build a costume from the wire to the foam, and to give it that extra kind of 3D kind of effect, but it's not a 3D backpack at the same time. And just trying to use different techniques to say, if I kind of make this wire a zigzag shape, it's going to pop out a bit, and it's going to give it a bit of a shape when it comes through it. So it's just experimenting with different things as well. But as I said, from an inspiration perspective, when I'm actually sitting down and I'm looking at things, I'm very hands and paper. I'm not a kind of design tech person when I'm using Adobe at the moment. I know people love that, but I want to feel it. I want to see it. I want to play with the colours. I will use the pastel colours and I'll blend in the colours to see how it will work together. But at the same time, I could be in the market. I was at Green Street Market today, right? And it's all that fabric, and it's like, working that to see what's coming together. Your house turns into a bit of a junkyard. You don't want me to turn the camera around right now for you to see what's going on. And it's finding the space. And it's just the stuff that I bought 3 years ago, and I've still got ideas in my head. I haven't touched it yet. So, and I'm sure everyone's in that same boat where it's just like, there's so much as a creative person that you can draw from. Even my son's a Sonic the Hedgehog fanatic. There'll be a Sonic the Hedgehog costume coming soon.
Oh, I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
I even get involved myself.
Yeah.
Definitely want to see that.
I like it, Sonic the Hedgehog. If you can make me a Thundercats costume, right in there,
Please don't stop. Please.
I want them all simple there as well. Yeah, boy.
I can actually see it. All right, let's stop there. Yeah. Let's stop.
We'll have to talk after the live, walking down the streets of Notting Hill shouting Thundercats. Oh, let me stop. But no, I hear that. That was a very insightful question to hear where you draw your inspiration from. Very varied as well. This which leads me to my next question. This is what I've always wanted to know myself here, because I know there's only 12 months in the year. When, or even can you give us an insight into the carnival costume production? Like, when does it start? How long does it take to make a costume? Like when you get your idea, how long does it take for it to be like, this is it on paper, this is it in front of your face? How long does that take? I don't know who to go to first. I think we'll go to
Remy,
Sawney
sorry.
Styles. We touched on it before with having her
I do need
sections.
I do need to jump off, so I'm gonna have to love you and leave you.
Oh, well, thank you anyway for joining,
No,
Giselle.
thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you
I'll
so
continue
much.
listening whilst I'm driving.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Bye,
Thanks
Giselle.
everyone.
Bye,
Take care.
Giselle.
Bye.
Get home
Okay,
safe.
bye.
Bye.
So yes, Sawney.
Sorry, can you
Tell
repeat the
us.
question for me?
Oh, yeah, I just want to know, how long does it take, well, the production to get from the costume on paper to when we see it in our faces and it's on the streets of Carnival? How long does that all take, roughly? Is it like you have a timeline, or is it just like, you know, by a certain time, this has to be done, that has to be done?
Well, my bandmates will know that I don't like drawing. As much as I was good at art and everything at school, I cannot tell you that what they force me to draw, when they say get it out of your head, put it on paper, what I draw is not what I'm going to create. I've got everything going off in my head of what I want it to look like, what I'm going to add here, what I'm going to do. That I cannot get that on paper. I will do it on paper just for the simple fact that we need to show the team, but it's not going to look like that. That usually starts as soon as Carnival finishes. Basically, we're getting the colors together. Everything's it's a lot of things that are going on in your head. Eventually, when I get the stuff, say, because we usually launch February, so
Wow.
prototypes would be in the making from October, I would say. So that's literally getting together what wires you need, what colors you're going to use, what gems you're going to use, ordering whatever it is that you need. Obviously, there's breaks in between that because obviously you've got Christmas, and I've got a lot of birthdays and Novembers and stuff like that. So when I actually start getting things made, will probably be like January, I'd say, because I like pressure. So I like to do the rush thing at the end, like, you know, you've only got 2 weeks left, and I'm like, yeah, don't worry. So photo shoot we usually do in January as well. So it usually needs to be made by that time. And even with photo shoot as well, it's a trial and error, because obviously what you've now put together, is it going to work? Are they going to be able to move and, you know, do certain things? If they're jumping up and down, is it going to work? Is the boob going to stay in, you know? So we'll be sticking and adding things on at the photo shoot as well. Launch, obviously, we launch in February, and sales basically start as soon as possible. Actually, we start the sales before that because people put deposits down from before for their sections and then choose their section on the day. So from sales starting to production, so production for me started 2 weeks ago. And that's only because this year has been a problem with ordering. So we're ordering feathers from China and stuff like that. It's been a long thing for them to get into the country. I'm still waiting for wire work to come. I'm still waiting for my bodywear to come. So I'm getting on with what I can do, which is still quite a bit, because I've got 2 sort of sections that I need to be getting on with to when this is going to be finished, probably the week before. My time, you give yourself a deadline, and my deadline is basically the week of the week before the 20th, whatever that is. I don't know what it is, because that's when we're going to start distributing. So yeah, I'm taking stuff to work. I'm working on my lunch breaks. Like everything's going on right now, and yeah, my sitting room is just not visitor proof at the moment. So yeah.
I hear that. Miracle Precious, tell us. How
Wow.
long does it take for you?
For me, oh gosh, man. It could take, you know, if I got all the materials and everything, take me a few weeks, depending on how many orders. Like Shawnee said, that normally depends on you know, your orders coming from China. Because obviously at the moment everything's like 7 weeks behind, 6 weeks behind. Right now I'm still waiting for stuff. And I've got people like, oh, when can we come for a fitting? So exactly. So yeah, I just get on with what I can do for now, and then fingers crossed, pray to God that, you know, everything comes just in time, innit? It normally works out all right for me. But yeah, it depends on so many elements how long it actually takes. Because you can only really say how long it takes when you've got everything in front of you. Then you can say, all right, it's gonna take this long and so forth. I normally try and get my my costumes out probably like 2 weeks before Carnival, even a month before Carnival. Yeah. But obviously pandemic and everything's delayed now. So let's see.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Monique, tell us.
Oh my gosh. When does it
I
stop?
don't even know why I'm laughing.
When does it stop? Because the way my life is set up at the moment, as I said, it's like it starts early. It starts early because I'm a very organized person, and I'm sure band leader, if they're in the live, will tell you that I harass them. I harass them. I harass them. I harass them. I'm like, do you know what? I will throw everything up in the air, because if I don't have these by such and such, just listening to you guys about feathers and stuff, and seeing someone trying it, I'm so glad that I'm not in that situation, because I'll be having panic attacks right now to say, where is this stuff and when it's happening, and I'll be, you know, at flipping Gatwick Airport, Heathrow Airport, you know, on the doors, like, wait, can I search for my bathroom, please? Like, where is it? So it has to, for me, especially from a project management perspective as well, everything has got to be scheduled. I have a deadline for when feathers are coming in, when fabrics coming in. You know, I've got a whip for my dad to say, get on and sew this for me now. I need this by the end of the week, because I want to have, you know, a production line where everything's done and everything it's in its place before the beginning of August, because August is just about feathers. I don't want to see you no body wear. I don't want to see you no bikini. I don't want to see nothing. I don't want to see no wire bra in August. I just want to work on the backpacks from then. So for me, in terms of, you know, here's the theme, Monique. Okay, I'm ready. Let's go. As long as you've got your theme, give me 3 weeks, month maximum. Section's done.
Yeah.
Section's ready to go. Photo shoot's ready. I'm harassing you. Let's do it. Right? Let's get on to it. And then production is, you know, it's in terms of, you know, every band is different in terms of, you know, whether or not you have your following already to say, we know that we're going to have a certain amount, we're going to cap the number of masqueraders we're going to have, as opposed to, you know, if you're selling costumes as a per, you know, kind of masquerader basis. So, you know, having that insight to say, okay, you know, you're going to have at least 10, 15 costumes to get on with, say, right, place the order in February straight as photo shoots done and launch. So you've got that in stock and everything's there, and you don't have to have those anxiety attacks over things coming from China. But as I said, every situation is different, and whether or not you can do that or not, because, you know, I know, you know, some people that start their designs, you know, they're always 1 year ahead. They've got, you know, designs in as backup to say, we know what our themes are for the next 2-3 years, and we're going to start, you know, working on those prototypes in the background. So when it comes to it, it's just a quick photo shoot, back to back. And there's some people that have got photos ready from 2 years ago that's just waiting to launch when September comes.
Wow, that's really ahead of the game. 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah, lockdown, you know, people have nothing else to do. And, you know, I think it was Giselle saying even about, you know, people's mental health. Like, what else, as a designer, what else were you supposed to do except create?
That's true.
Especially as Carnival wasn't happening. I mean, as I said, for me, it was about my mental health. It was about my mental health, and this is why, you know, when, you know, everyone was just like in a slump, Carnival's not happening. February came, 2020, I still dropped a section, because I figured, you're not getting hold of me. Right, I'm not getting into this depression. February's costume dropping time. I'm gonna drop a costume. Simple as that.
No, I hear that. Oh, so essentially, it's taking you what you have the costumes ready, just waiting for the band to just tell you, yes, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Get your stuff, and off you go.
Yeah.
Cool.
Get on with it.
Nice. And then confident curves.
Okay, so yeah, I like to work start with a theme. And can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, it went so quiet for a second. I was like, oh my gosh. No, I like to have a theme to work with, and ideally, the sooner you can start production, as soon as carnival's finished, the better. Because I think you can organize your life. I've got 2 kids as well, so sometimes that it's like you've got to sometimes prioritize here and there. Um, but I like to have a schedule, and I like it to run and flow smoothly. Otherwise, I get a little bit stressed, and it's like, okay, well, I need to know what's happening with this so that I can pattern this. So when we did Gaga, I liked the idea. We had a theme. We started production straight away for the prototypes. Then like it flows into your photo shoot, and then a couple weeks later you have your launch, and then you can start taking orders. But I think for me as a designer, I like to limit my section. I don't want to overwhelm myself and promise 50 costumes. I'd rather have 20 costumes in my section and know quality over quantity, not like where you've seen some and you're like they promise you like 1,000 feathers and then you get 5 and things like that. And I would be really heartbroken to do that. But I don't really work out of a mass camp or anything. So all my costumes, I make everything. Or if I need to get wire work done, I'll get help with that or I'll make it myself. So it's like I want to make sure that I'm giving each person what they ask for. And then like how yourself, like when some people they might not like the body where you've got, they might think, oh, do you know what? I don't feel comfortable in it. And I like to design where you're a bit more covered up, not so skimpy, for confident women that have like extra curves. And also like I know a lot of mums and they're like, oh, I like the fact that you do a lot of high waist stuff. So it's like that way everyone is happy. Like going on the road is about feeling good, not feeling nice about yourself. So I want you to feel sexy when you're putting that costume on. So that's my main goal. But in production wise, I like to make sure like I'm ahead, not behind, or I'm not sitting there making someone's costume the night before. I want you to have your costume in time and it fits nice. So yeah, that's it really.
Nice. I want to stick with you, Confident Curls. For the next question, you're going to go first.
Okay.
So, there's been a change in dynamic of plus size clothing. Before I even begin that, hello Diggity, so you sent a message. Big up. So there's been a change in the dynamic of plus size clothing, with it being more accommodating and more widely available across different retail outlets.
Yep.
Have you noticed a change in the type of costumes being produced, and how have you as a designer adapted to this change?
Oh wow, that's a big one.
No pun intended.
No, I hear you. So literally, do you know what? I prefer to take each client separate. I don't like to just, how to put it, categorize just because everyone's going in a plus size. If something ain't working for them, then I'll adapt to their needs, which I think is
Okay.
important. And then just finding out, like, someone might be plus size, she might be plus size, big boobs, small waist, thick thighs, or she might be like, do you know what? I need to cover my belly. I've got a little bit of a belly. I've just had a baby or something like that. So I'm going to do something completely different for each of them where they're happy.
Okay. Yeah, because I think I'm not. I mean, obviously, I like to play costumes as well, and it's more of the fact, as you said, feeling good in a costume. So I know a lot of of late costume designers now will costumes. When you see them, they'll have like a separate option that they'll say if your bra size is bigger than a double D or whatever, you supply your own bra. We can fit that into the costume or incorporate it into the costume for you. Again, and there's options like what's the word I'm looking for? Like a swimming costume type thing, a tankini, is it?
Thank you.
As opposed to
Yeah.
having just the bra option. Because before, when I used to play carnival, it just used to be t-shirt mask only. Because a lot of the costumes were skimpy, and it was never even considered to accommodate for plus size women or even men that would want to play in costume for carnival. But now it's like it's the in thing. We're seeing big breasted women in wire bras. It's a good change. We're gonna head over to Sawney Styles. What's your take on that?
I'm loving the body confidence. Absolutely loving it. Obviously, I try to offer again for all different shapes and sizes. Even with myself over the lockdown, my whole body has changed as well. And to be quite honest, I don't have time to work out, so we're just going out there like that. I'm not even trying to cover it up. We're just gonna go on the road. It's fine. We're going out there, whatever. I've seen a lot of change, especially with like males now wanting to be in costumes as well. And it's quite interesting because before there wasn't a lot of males in costumes, they always gravitate towards t-shirts. And this year we've offered seven? I think it was 7 different options for men's. And to be quite honest, you know, they complained about it before, they've not met and whatever, you know, we've given them loads of options, and then it's like, well, what happened? But I also know there's been a kind of shift in sales and stuff after the pandemic as well, maybe an issue too. So we'll still continue to offer the men's and different blinged up or not so blinged up and big head pieces or whatever it is they want. But yeah, we do offer in all sections for females as well, different types. The cage bras, wire bras for women. Obviously, for myself, I don't like to do the skimpy, nice designs because there's no support in that. What I tend to do for a bustier person is to either use a standard bra and cut it, so it's still giving them that sort of support, or I'll use sort of wire bras which actually like claw your breasts, rather than you get some of them where it's just covering the nipples. That is not working for someone is over a D. It's not a D. So you need to be able to give them something that's going to cut them, it's going to hold them. You can have them, it's not a problem. The breast you are on a wire bra, the less you can jump. Unless you're using that tape underneath it.
True. In the costume, you've got to have the jump test.
Yeah.
I know you ladies know what I'm talking about. And if you don't know, then you better get to know. But yeah, you got to do the jump test. Paramount. Well, that's good. No, so far I'm gonna have a wire bra designed by Sony Styles. Monique's gonna make me a Thundercats costume, and I've already had Confident Curves and Miracle Pressure Designs design my costume. I think I'm doing all right tonight. I'm not gonna lie. I'm set.
Getting treated, isn't it?
Boy, you know what I mean. Yes, Miracle Precious. Tell us, how are you adapting to the plus size masqueraders?
Oh, very easily. I've always done high waisted and one pieces, and it's nothing too hard. Like if the one pieces and the high waisted, you even get the slimmer girls preferring that compared to the skinniness that's out there. Even down to the bras, they want full bras. They're not really too fussed about wire bras. So I always accommodate. It's always about muscle just feeling comfortable on the road. Not if their bits all falling out, and you know how. Well, yeah, you know how many cameras on the road and people are taking pictures for you to have one little breath out, and then it's all over social media. No, and it's your costume as well. No. So yeah, I always accommodate. It's not even a problem. Yeah, whatever they want me to do, I will do it. Yeah.
Well, no, because when you designed my front line, you was the one that says, "Oh, wait, we're just gonna use this." I think we ordered the costume, wasn't it? A swimming costume.
Yeah.
And then they had the tassels at the end, and you was like,
the tassels, and then he just adds to it. Yeah.
You know when you get Granny seal of approval, that means the costume's fire.
Yeah, you know that, isn't it?
You go see Granny, she's like, "What is this? Jesus, you cancel your plans, boy." But yeah, no. Thank you for that. And last, Monique, tell us, how do you adapt to?
Really? Is adapt the right word? Size female, it's part of life as a masquerader to say it is what it is, and I think I've always been that girl that hasn't been afraid to put on the costume before it became popularized by having the options on. It's just for me, I guess it's just making sure that everyone's comfortable. I think I always say that one of the reasons which made me, I think, say, "Do you know what, I'm gonna actually start making costumes properly," is that, there were people in the past that used to come to me and ask for high-waisted options just because that the section that they wanted to jump with wouldn't provide it. And I think that's even another reason why I started doing what I'm doing, because I'm just like, huh? What? Okay, let me take this seriously now, because there's obviously a gap there, and me obviously being the size that I am, having the assets that I have, I think, it's just fair. Fair is fair at the end of the day. So in terms of the bands adapting, it has to be done at the end of the day, because it's all about inclusivity and making sure that people feel comfortable in what you're providing, and the fact that they're not looking at the costumes and they're in a t-shirt thinking, I want to wear a costume. And it's just even thinking back to kind of like the first times that I jumped carnival, and I'm thinking, even comments like, oh my gosh, you're so brave, like, are you wearing that? I wish I had your confidence. But thinking it's a personality thing in from one aspect, but at the same time, it's about being able to provide that service to people, to say, okay, let's come on the road. You do not have to have, tits and bum out. You can be more modestly dressed and still have that same experience and still have that same cultural aspects of it, because everywhere there's all different degrees of everything, no matter what it is. And for going back to the original question, to say how are we adapting to it, it's just I guess you just give people what they want. You give people what they want. But as somebody that's always been that plus size person from, even in St. Lucia, I think the first carnival I jumped 2003 in St. Lucia as I graduated school. Yeah, it was costume. Look, Monique, where she going? Where she think she going? Where that big girl going? Who she think she is, Gassa? Look at that. It's just like, and because I've had that since then. It's just like, what? Gassa, what you? No.
Yeah.
So it's just, I think, and I do see the changes. I do see everything has been evolving over time as well. And there may be people in the background that think I'm way too modest about myself, and say, yeah, because they saw you doing it, and now they're adapting to say, hold on, that girl made her own costume and she had that on, and blah blah blah. I'm gonna do it like that. But it's about adapting to what people want, because not everyone is as confident. So you just have to trial and error. And I think with me as well, I look at people that are in masquerade as well, to say, what have you asked for in terms of an adjustment to your costume, to say, is that something that everyone would want, and then go from there to provide that for them.
Okay. Oh, interesting. This is a plot twist question. It just came to me. I want everybody to name one of their pet peeves as being a carnival costume designer.
Oh
Don't
boy.
think too hard. Just the first thing that comes to your mind. Just what's your number one pet peeve? I will start with. Monique, you're already laughing. Come on. What's the pet peeve?
It's just something. It's just basic. You've done everything, and you see them on the road, and they don't have their arm pieces on, and they don't have their leg pieces on, or something. And it's just like, what is it? Why did you put it on?
But then sometimes the wine is too sweet and it just drops off,
I know, but it's just like, where is it? What's to make that? That's what it is like this.
I had it on, and the wine was just a bit too.
I think that's my only. Yeah, that's the only thing that I have to say. It's like looking at thinking, where's that piece that took me extra 45 minutes to get that,
Okay, so when we get given the arm bands and the leg bands and they're not even on at the start, that's Monique. Confident curves. What's your number one pet peeve as a designer?
I actually don't know.
Nah,
I don't know if I have any.
you have to think of something.
Okay, come back to me. I'm thinking. You're wrecking my brain, Remy.
All right. All right. Swanny Styles. What's the number one?
The first thing that came to my mind was ungrateful masqueraders. Oh my gosh. If they ever knew, right, how much time and how much glue gun burns and how much blisters we get from putting your costume together. And then you want to come and be like, oh, this gem's a little bit twisted or whatever. Like, you know, that. And also the ones that give you sizes, which is not their size. Oh, my God. You should know your bra size, right? If not, you've got enough time to go and get your them measured, right? The sizes where they say they've ordered a size 8 and they turn up and they're looking like a size 14. I'm sorry that the personal trainer didn't get you there, but you should have given us the original size first thing. Measure yourself, give us the original size, because we're making it to what you order. And when it don't fit, it's not our fault. And we don't have much time to go and, redo it. Nah, I can't stand it.
Okay, so we have no armbands and leg bands, and people not knowing their sizes, and ungrateful masqueraders.
Mm-hmm.
I will second the people not knowing their sizes. Yeah, I'll second that, Sean. The people not knowing their sizes.
Yeah. Miracle Precious.
Yep.
Come on, what's our number one pet peeve?
Boy, I've got so many, I've got so many. I'm not going to mention about 2. I hate when you work on your good big backpack and it end up on the back of the truck. They don't even go halfway down the road. It's on the back of the truck. The hat is on the back of the truck. The belt is on the wrong way. They give the wrong size. Yeah, the wrong size. Surely you know that, innit? Wrong size bra, and then they want to cut you. If the bra don't fit, you better make it fit, innit?
You mean they're the double D's trying to fit into a C cup, yeah?
Yes. And you're like, hold on, you know where you didn't do a C cup. You're like a double J or something. Yeah. And it's not even like they've gone a little bit out in their size. They're going to cray up the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, L, yeah, they're going to cray up the line. Yeah, so
okay.
I've got more, but yeah, that's another time.
Yeah, after the live. Confident curves.
Okay, mine could I haven't had anything bad yet. All my masqueraders so far, I've always had small sections, so I haven't had anything extreme. But maybe, when people think that you can just add things on, like the day of carnival or the night before, when it's like, well, I have to get myself ready and I'm still making my costume, or not. And some masqueraders haven't understood, like they want their costume finished, cool, it will all be done. But it's like, I think some people don't realize, when they try and bump their costume down and things like that, just in general, like they don't realize how much time it takes. Like we sacrifice, maybe like there's sets leading up to carnival, but we ain't going because we're making sure costumes are finished, or little things like that, the sacrifice that goes into it. And also, sometimes where people don't understand that it is our time, and it's not like this is our full-time job either. We work, we have a home life just like everyone else. So half the time, these hours are spent like hours we should be sleeping.
Yeah.
But just understanding how costumes work, and when they're priced at a certain price, it's not because we're trying to extort you. It's because feathers are expensive, gems are expensive. Skin is a problem. There's so many things that go into designing on a whole that you don't see, because the amount of time we put in, we'll never ever make back. It's the research, the amount of hours you sit on that computer or your phone ordering gems, researching gems, putting your designs together. It's not just simple draw it up and everything just comes by Amazon or something like that. Like everything's already, like sometimes you wish when you have a baby they came with a manual. It doesn't come like that with your costumes, that kind of thing. Yeah, that's the only thing.
I hope the listeners are listening to this. Don't want to annoy the designers with their pet peeves, because next year I might be you without a costume. Don't want that to happen. Okay, so are there any designers that you admire and why? What I'll do is we'll go first internationally and then we'll go UK based. So, Sawney Styles, who do you admire as a designer internationally? Sorry.
Oh, do I know his name? What's his name? Is it Alejandro? Is that his name? I can't remember. I think it is, isn't it? Because I also want to say Alfredo, and I think their names are kind of similar. Yeah, it's him. Yeah, love his stuff. Love it, and I'm loving his reels as well. In putting everything together, it's nice. Love it.
Okay, what about the colors, the gems, the design?
So I think Giselle did say about like how wire is made to sort of make the shapes, and and he puts it on the mannequin, and he has the reel going, and it just putting everything together, and then when it's made, it's just like amazing. Like, but it's yeah, I just love his thought process. I love the way that it's put together. It's just nice. It's nice. I probably would admire a lot more designers if they did that too. But at the moment, he's like on my notifications. I love it.
Okay. And then next, UK based, who do you admire as a designer?
Alfredo and oh yeah, you go. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Miracle Precious. Tell us who admires who inspires you internationally.
Internationally, Natasha Marshall is one,
Okay.
and Marlon Smart. I think he's from Brooklyn. Yeah, their designs are just amazing. Yeah, I get a lot inspiration. So I want to be like them when I grow up. But yeah, you know what? Yeah, that word admire. All right, yeah, I admire them.
He's gonna switch it up.
Yeah, so yeah, those are the two international ones. Yeah, there's more,
Okay.
but I can't remember. Yeah.
And who inspires you or admire, or do you admire? Sorry, UK based.
Johnny again, and it's Alfredo, and obviously Paul. Yeah, those two, they're amazing. They're amazing. Like, they're out of this world. Rate them 100%. Their work effort, like, I don't know how Paul does it, but he does it, and yeah, it's very inspirational.
Nice. Okay. Confident Curves. Tell us your designers that you admire internationally.
Do you know what? I was literally racking my brain, and when Miracle Precious mentioned Marlon Smart, I was like, "That's his name." I was trying to get my head around.
Yeah.
Where is it? And I actually just remember seeing some of his costumes for New York, and I was just like flabbergasted. I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
Yeah.
Like, when you literally just want to jump through the screen and be in that costume.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I would fit in it, but I wanted to be in it.
He'll make it fit.
Oh yeah, I'll just sew it on at the back. But yeah, some of his work is just amazing.
Okay. And UK based, anyone?
Oh yeah, do you know what? Like, Monique is one of them, and the Diamond Tea. Like, I know them both personally, so it's like, when you work with people and you're like part of a team and you see their work, like, I don't know, it's just like the uniqueness of their designs. Not even the fact that I actually know them. It's like whenever I see their designs come out, I'm just like, wow. And I'm just like, yay, go girls! Like, that's my girls. Like, and I'm so proud. Like, whenever we have talks, or like when we're designing on themes and stuff, and I was like, who can be more inspiring than the people that you surround yourself with and work with, and you're around in general? Like, that's my inspiration. They push me as well. So
Nice.
I like.
I second you on that. The Monty, yeah, she's really out of the box. Yeah.
Exactly.
Especially the old school rope chains, and yeah, that section is really nice.
The Missy Elliott one, yeah.
Yeah. That was good. Yeah.
Actually, if she's listening right now, I'm still waiting for my bra. I swear I asked her to make me one of those. I'm gonna message her later. Thanks for reminding me.
Lastly, Monique.
Oh my God. Answer question, because it's very hard. Because it's like, you see, for me, everybody up the mantle design. I have respect and love for them, because it's not easy. Not only to up and try to design, but to put your design out there and critique. So that in itself is inspiring, because there's so in terms of international, international, you think like, that's easy, kind of time and tea, because at the end of the day, right, she is so eclectic in what she does, and she's able to basically diversify herself and be part of any other section internationally, regardless of whether it's, you know, Alejandro section, whether or not it's a UCOM section, whether or not, you know, it's a section in Miami, whether or not it's a Marlon Stewart section, because, you know, because of what she does is so unique, she's able to, you know, tap into every single part of Carnival and Carnivals internationally. So and obviously because, you know, she's my friend, probably the reason why I'm so heavily involved in Carnival now, because she's like, just do it, hurry up, just do it. So yeah, I will say her, to be honest with you. Yeah, she's the OG, above my OG, we always say. But as I said, it's everyone. I mean, I remember, you know, when I came back, first one came back to the UK from St. Lucia, it was, you know, Masquerade 2000, and some of the costumes it was fantastic, you know, and then obviously that's evolved into the bands that we see today, you know, and it's, yeah, it's all inspiring. You know, I can't pinpoint anyone. You know, I think probably if you look through in my phone, I'll probably have a screenshot of every single designer. The small ones, the big ones. I remember, you know, one of my favourite costumes from Notting Hill one year was Enchanted Designs UK. And you know, she did that yellow, and it was, the textures as well, and it was just like, oh my god, I just wanted to go like that on the phone and just feel it. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's just different things that people come up with. I mean, you know, looking at you know, sometimes we use the sections like that headpiece, that the featherwork and stuff that Paul did for Miami and stuff. That's amazing. Like, you can see the structure of Donatella in it. It's just like, once you can see it, it's like, yeah, it's just, there's no question. Everyone that tries to do it, whether they're successful or not, right, they're inspiring, because they didn't have to. They didn't have to try and be a part of the art. They didn't have to try and be a part of the culture. And yeah, we're all in it together at the end of the day. So let's inspire each other.
I hear that.
I just want to add one more.
Go on.
It's a London designer, Maurice Mass. London Kane, Jay. Yes, I literally forgot him. You see that guy? I'm so proud of him. I remember when he first started to what he's created this year. It's amazing. I am proud of him, man. Yeah, it's amazing. His work is just out of this world. Yeah.
Nice.
Sorry, I need to add 2 more. I'm sorry, because I don't know why I forgot them. That long break, and it's like, I didn't even remember. Sorry, I'm very sorry. And also PFA, Feminine Energy. But she's amazing. She was working with us as well. She's one of our main designers. She hasn't been with us, obviously, the last how many years because of the pandemic. But and she's not with us this year only because her grandma passed. But when she puts her mind together and she starts making things, like her drawings come to life, like it is what is on the paper, and it's amazing. MV, again, the boys, they're great too.
Nice. Okay, so for those who have sections only, are you planning to have your own band in the future? Who can ask? I don't know. Whoever wants to answer first, go ahead. I'm leaving the floor open because I want to hear this gossip.
It's not easy with me. I mean, yes, people want to have their own band, but it's not easy. There's a lot to it.
But nothing worth having is ever easy.
You just have to have the right team behind
your
you.
own truck on the road with all designs behind it.
Listen, my only aspiration isn't to have my own bands, but, you know, is to have my sections in London, Ghana, and St. Lucia, and that's it.
That's good. All right. Okay. So she doesn't want the band to have her sections in different islands and as well as the UK. Love it. Love it. Confident Curves.
Sure, if I'm honest, I wouldn't want to have my own math band. Seriously. so much work that goes behind it. It's like having another job. Like, as much as
Okay.
the idea of it would be amazing, the realisticness of it, I just know that that would be too much pressure and I wouldn't be able to deliver the costumes that I want to deliver. So I would rather put my effort into my section, maybe even have two sections, even have a kiddie section down the line. But I would rather put my creativeness on the road, not have to worry about the business side and all the other sides. When you've got a section, it's like having your own business. It is your own business on the
Mhm.
side as well. So no, I'm happy to stick with my sections if I'm honest.
Okay, so that's two. That's no. Miracle Precious.
Mhm. You know what? Yeah, I thought about it.
Uh
I
huh.
thought about it many years ago. I even got a name. I ain't gonna tell you that, just in case
Oh, so
I
there's
might
plans,
just
yeah. There's plans. There's
you know.
plans.
But you know what? I've been behind the scenes before, and yeah, it is a lot of work. From booking the truck, from getting the truck money together, from the registrations, from the complaints. It is it's a lot of work, especially putting a truck on the road on the day, setting up the truck the night before, dealing with all the masqueraders on the road and the t-shirt. Yeah, it's a lot of work. But you know what? I kind of enjoyed it. I
Okay.
was called the
So we
treasurer,
have.
so I done quite a lot of behind the scenes work, not just designing or helping out a mascot. I done a lot of behind the scenes, and I actually enjoyed it. But it is, I was still 50-50. I'm
I'll
alright
take
having
that.
my
I'll
sections. I
take
wouldn't
that.
mind to have a section in every single mass band on the road. I'll be happy
Jesus
with that. If I
Christ.
don't ever have a mass
Domination.
band on the
Wow.
road, I'll have a section in, every mass band on the road.
I like that. Domination. So we
Yeah,
got two that said no. We got one 50-50.
yeah.
No pressure, Swanee. No pressure.
I don't have, well, life, I don't say I have pressure. I'm already a band leader.
Yeah.
Credibles band. I'm doing
And you
everything
know what's
behind the
going
scenes
on.
alongside Sam. So
Mm.
it isn't easy.
Yep.
I know probably a lot of people get into just putting a truck on the road. It is expensive as
Yep.
hell. You've
Mm-hmm.
got health and safety, you've got public liability insurance. Like literally, when I finish making these costumes and we get to Notting Hill on the 28th, right? It's not even I could breathe for them, because obviously I need to be looking after the kids, the parents, and this, making sure nothing's going wrong, make sure everybody's happy. And then when Monday comes, I kind of free up a little bit, but at the same time, it's like it is a whole nother job. I go around and I literally say to every masquerader, I'm sorry, I'm so personal. If I see a cage bar that's not bent in the right way or a backpack that's not tied right, I'm all in there. And only until we start moving and still making sure everyone's having drinks, they're fed, I think the only time that I can actually relax is at judging point. Well, after judging point, because before judging point is getting everyone in their section.
Mm-hmm.
After judging point, where it's just like, we're done. It's like, you know what? I need a holiday. Like, going to carnival is completely different now than it was before. Before, I used to have to bank up. I don't have to bank no more. It is so stressful. Like right about now, so you have to have a really good team. I know somebody said that you have to have a really good
Yeah,
team.
you have to. Yeah.
Everybody needs to be
Definitely.
delegating things, and they need to just focus on that, because if it comes back to you, as well as making costumes and trying to organize this one and mentor, it's too much. So you want to do it, hats off to you. But it's probably easier just doing your section and then cleaning up and enjoying yourself on the road.
Okay, so that's a big fat no from all the designers. Okay.
Well, I'm already in it.
Ask my
What
question.
can I do?
No, I mean, it's something that I wanted to know. As I said, it's an insight into designing costumes, etc. So now, I mean, I didn't know about this. I'm a DJ and I didn't even know about, having to have public liability for a truck. So,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, definitely have to
educational,
have that.
behind the scenes.
Security, everything.
We're all learning.
Your business, if you're the insurance, you can't. If you're drunk, you can't get drunk, huh? It's all based on that insurance. You can't get drunk. If anything happened, you were in control.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? I don't think I could have my own truck, because once I start to drink that alcohol, boy, I don't even know myself. So I'll just be
You
useless.
stay
There's
there.
no
There is band
point.
leaders out there that are drunk on the truck. You stay there.
Can you
That
imagine?
never happens. It never happens.
So yeah, okay. So does anyone? I know this is probably going to be a no now, but does anybody have their sights set on going international with their costumes? No. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Of course.
Okay.
yeah.
So, as in, like, if so, where and why?
For me, it's Grenada. Because I just like all the foolishness and madness.
I'll be
I'd
down
love
for
to
that,
do
you
a
know.
job costume for them.
Yes.
Yeah, I proper would like to do a job costume.
So I have now
See.
Thundercats. I'm gonna have my wire buff and Shawnee. I got my jab jab costume. This has been a very productive conversation. I'm not gonna lie. I'm
Mm.
excited. Okay, so Miracle Precious is going Grenada with her jab jab costume.
Yes.
Confident Curves, where are you going?
Do
Where
you
would you
know
like
what?
to go?
I would say Grenada because when I went 2019, I didn't want to come home and I played Jab Jab
I
as well.
remember that. Yeah.
My nan called me at like 4 o'clock in the morning, but it was 8 here, and she was like, "Where are you going, darling?" I was like, "I'm playing Jab Jab, nan, bye." It was like I lived. Oh my gosh! Don't even get me started. You know the stories I told you when I came back. I was like, "Wow,
No, I know.
I had me a good time." So
Yeah,
yeah,
boy. Grenada
I
Carnival
want to go back. It was
is one
something
of a
else.
kind. You have to experience it. Monique?
Yeah, as I said before, it's it's Ghana because at the end of the day, that's my heritage. You know, we would want to have a section of British.
Okay.
And obviously for Ghana, doing the whole year of the return, it's more traditional. So I'm just thinking, even from the designer perspective, because I haven't really showcased my more traditional skills as yet, I think that will show that, you know what, I'm not just the titty out, batty out section, I can do other things as well.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But because I haven't had that opportunity, because it hasn't been called on me to do that yet, and I haven't been ready to show that side of what I can do yet, it's just nobody's seeing it. So I would love that opportunity to say, right, especially as I am, that's where my background is. My dad's Ghanaian, and my mum's St. Lucian. Lived in St. Lucia for a couple of years. Yeah, I'm thinking, why not? As I said, London. I had a trilogy: London, St. Lucia, Ghana.
Nice. I like it. I like
Well,
it.
I'm adding Vinci to the list as too.
Where you at in?
I'm adding Vinci to the list too.
Let's see.
Boy, Vinci. I need
Vinci
to
and
go
Grenada.
Vinci Mouse, you know. They just have some serious rhythms. I'm not gonna lie. Sony, where are you going
Um,
internationally and why?
you already said it, like Grenada. That's it. The thing is,
Correct.
the only reason for Grenada, it's only because I haven't really traveled that much to any other carnivals. Obviously, I see it online and stuff like that, but Grenada, at least I know my family's there. So if it was a thing where I needed them to help me out over there with some of the production or whatever, then, I could do all the pieces here or whatever the case is, because it's not like I'm going to go out there for the whole year to do production. My mind is more working on anxiety because I making the things here, packing them up in a box and expecting them to ship over there and reach there in one piece. I'm fine. So I'm thinking of it strategically like that, but probably, yeah, if not Grenada, then probably not so international. So maybe Europe or other carnivals around the UK. I'll keep it basic. No one wants to be more stressed out than you are already,
I hear that. I hear that. And finally, before we go, we just need to know one word that describes your costume for 2022. I'm going to give you like 10 seconds to think of a word. Okay, time's up. So, who's going first? I want one word to describe your costume for 2022. Everyone's still thinking, boy. I want to come with the best word for my costume. I can see everyone's mind thinking, what word? Have you all thought of a word, yeah? No? Yeah? Okay. We're going to go with Monique. What's your word to describe your costume for this year?
Jesus Christ.
That's
Is that the word?
Oh, 2 words.
That's Mercy. That's all I could think of.
What, Lord of Mercy?
Lord
I'll
of Mercy.
take that. All right, that's one word. Okay, confident curves.
I don't know why skanking comes to mind.
What word?
Right. Skanking is like when you put it on, it's like you're ready. So
Okay,
skanking, yeah.
nice. Sawney.
Um, I'm like looking at it and I don't even know what to. Royal. There we go. Just go royal.
Yeah, boy.
Royalty.
Regal
Royalty.
and Ting.
Yeah.
Easy. And Miracle Precious.
You know what? Yeah, I'm going for Naki. Anarchy because it's havoc. We're taking over this government,
Jeez.
and yeah, it's just madness,
Well,
isn't it? It's gonna be madness. You know, this year Carnival 2026 is gonna be madness. Yeah,
it
we're
will
back.
really be. It will be. It will be. Well,
We're back. We're back.
we are indeed. I
So
want to say
you need
thank
to
you
do the
to.
300. You need to do the 300. The 300 sound. Remember in the movie?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, like that. Yeah.
I hear that. I hear that.
yes,
We are
man.
back. We are back. I myself can't wait. Less than 50 days. Yeah, boy.
Excitement, man. Excitement.
It's been a long time coming. I just want to say thank you to you, ladies. Confident Curves, Miracle Precious, Sawney
You're
Styles,
welcome,
Monique, and
Remstar.
Giselle for taking part in this talk about carnival costume designs, giving us a better insight into the production, where you get your inspiration from. I don't know about anybody else, but I feel like I've learned a lot about the insight.
Definitely.
I'm gonna
We've learned a lot about each other. That's how it should be, you know?
exactly, and
Yeah.
an insight
Designers don't
into
usually
what
come,
goes on.
you know, get time to talk to each other or, you know, get to know anything about each other, you know, other than seeing each other on Insta or walking by. So it's been
This
nice.
is it. I mean, I think I've added everybody on Instagram, but if not, then it's at Remstar6.
Yeah.
I will look forward to seeing all of your designs in the near future, not just this year, but going forwards.
Yeah.
And I just want to thank you all for taking part. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you
Nice.
very much.
And next week, we're going to have some fitness fanatics talking about getting yourself ready for the road, fitness wise. I
Oh,
know,
amen.
right?
I need to tune into that.
We're bringing different elements each week. It's going to be on Wednesday next week. So yeah, we're going to have some people in the fitness
Definitely.
industry talking about how you can get yourself ready for them 3 miles for the Notting Hill Carnival. So when you whine and go down, you can whine and come back up. Don't want to get stuck. So yeah, but as I said, thank you very much, ladies.
You're welcome.
And I hope we can all tune in next week. Thank you very much.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
You're
Take
welcome.
care.
Take
See you
care.
later.
Bye.
See you
Bye.
later.
Bye.
Bye.